Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, Memoirs of a Villain, where I'll be bringing you literary realness one book at a time. So, in today's video, I wanted to do my favorite books of 2025. Now, listen, I know it's damn near February. However, I'm still trying to get used to this YouTube stuff, so just give us a break. And I figured, I still share it because you just never know. There might be something that I read last year that you might want to add to your TBR and also possibly enjoy. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Now, my first book, and this is in no particular order. Well, I take that back. I'm going to save like my most favorite book that I read last year for last. First book that I want to talk about, The Chestnut Man by, what's his name? Soren Sievstrup. I could be pronouncing that wrong, so if I am, please forgive me. The Chestnut Man is about a serial killer who is on the loose, and he always leaves like his little signature chestnut doll. However, at one of the scenes, there was a fingerprint, but the fingerprint was tied to a previous case from like, I think a year ago. And so now they're trying to figure out, there's two detectives and they're trying to figure out, okay, are these related? Like, is this the same person? Like, what's going on? So this is obviously a thriller, suspense. It was really good. I've had this book for a long time now, and I hate that I waited so long to read it, but here we are. And it was worth the wait. Like, it was a really good book. It's pretty thickiana, but the chapters are really short. I flew through it. I do kind of feel like there were a lot of characters in the book to the point where I was just like, wait a minute, who is who? But after a while, things started to come together, and I was like, all right, I get what's going on here. But other than that, outside of just kind of like the characters, the amount of characters, I would say that sometimes, it was a little difficult pronouncing the words because this is based in Copenhagen. So some of the names and like words were a little bit difficult to pronounce. And I'm one of those people where, like, yes, you're reading it, but you're also, like kind of saying the things in your head as well. It is a Netflix series that they have created based obviously on the book, but it was not good. I'm sorry. It was a snooze fest. Like, I was so disappointed, but I'm glad that I read this book first rather than seeing the Netflix series because I feel like that probably would have deterred me from reading this book. So, at the end of the day, the book was good. I enjoyed it. And like the two main detectives, they really grew on me. Like their character development and how they interacted with each other, they grew on me. So, yeah. If you're into mysteries and thrillers, I definitely say check this out. It's pretty fast paced, I think. And I think that even though because it's a thick book and the words are pretty like tiny, it still keeps you engulfed enough to where it's like, you're flying through it. So yeah, this is one of my like spooky reads from last year. So yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna do like these next ones kind of together. The Green Sisters. This series trilogy. I can't say trilogy because technically it's not a continuation of the same story, but this series of books, oh my gosh, really made me fall in love with Christina Forrest. Out of the three, Neighbor Favor was my absolute favorite. I love this book so much. Like, just so cute. So cute. Lily is the female main character for this one. I think she's the youngest. Yes, she's the youngest out of the Green Sisters. And I just, I loved her story so much. I'm not really good with summarizing books. You'll soon learn that after a while. So yeah, I kind of just be saying stuff. But Lily is a children's book editor who finds some escapism in corresponding with her favorite fantasy author. And what begins as two lonely people connecting over email turns into a tentative friendship and possibly something else that Lily won't let herself entertain until he ghosts her without a word. Months later, Lily is still crushed, but she's determined to get a hold of her life, starting with finding a date to her sister's wedding. And the perfect person to help her is Nick Brown, her charming, attractive new neighbor who she feels drawn to for reasons she can't explain. But little does she know, Nick is an author, her favorite fantasy author. If you have not read this before, you'll see how that story plays out. I loved it a lot. It was super cute. And yeah, give it a shot. Christina Forrest, I just love her. She's also a Jersey girl. And yeah, I just like her writing. Again, very light, cute, light, nothing too crazy. So she's got a fan out of me. I am actually currently reading her YA novel, Heartsick. Me and my bestie are doing a buddy read. So yeah, that's my girl. The partner plot is about the middle sister of Violet, who is, I want to say she is she's a fashion designer and she's focused on her career, but she ended up running into her high school boyfriend on a birthday trip to Vegas. They ended up like reconnecting and the story goes from there. I'm not about to give too much of that. Just a little brief, little something, something. But yes, this one was good as well. And then last, the love lyric. This is about the older sister, Iris. Iris is very much type A, put together, by the book. Like she's not with the shenanigans in the games. And she ends up meeting and Iris also is a single mother. She is a widow. And so she meets this younger guy, Angel, who was kind of just like this forbidden love of hers because again, he's younger and he is a musical artist. So is he a musical artist? Hold on. Yeah. And so you soon see how they get together and then it goes from there. So yes, I know I'm giving very vague like synopsis of this, but I just told y'all I'm not good at that. And also, I don't even want to say too much and then give it away, and now I done spoiled it. Because one thing about me, if you learn anything about me, you don't learn nothing else. Know that I hate spoilers. I hate them. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's a book, it's a show, it's a movie, music. Like, I don't want to hear no opinions on nothing. I don't want to hear your opinions. I don't want to hear like shit that actually happened in the book. Just talk about it without talking about it too much. You feel me? Yeah. So I also try to practice what I preach and not be giving away too much. I just say, go read them. Again, quick, cute, Black love stories. And I think they're super enjoyable. So get into it. The next book, Hidden Pictures by Jason. I forget how to pronounce his name because I looked it up and now I forgot. Is it Rakulik? I think it's Rakulik. Jason. I'm sorry. Sorry to that man, but I think that's right. Anyway, this is another thriller. I actually got this book at it's like a day party, but for book lovers. And everybody brings like one or more books to put on like this big table for like a book exchange, and people kind of just throughout the day party, because there's also like vendors, there's music, there's food, stop at a table, pick up books that they see that they might like, whatever. And I had seen this book plenty of times, and people said it was pretty good. And so I was like, oh, let me pick this up. It was actually in very much pristine condition, but as you can see, it's very much loved by me. I am not a stranger to crease in a book. Like, I want you to know, baby, I was into it. I'm talking about in it, okay? So, Hidden Pictures is about a girl named Mallory. She is fresh out of rehab, and she decides to take this babysitting job. Now, while she's at this job, obviously, with the child that she is babysitting, the child is drawing these pictures, very ominous type pictures, and she like, bro, what's going on? Like, this shit is looking real crazy. I think it's some shit going on. I think this baby is trying to tell me some shit. Well, not baby, but like little kid is trying to tell me some shit. Like, we need to tap into it and we need to get into it. And we most definitely get into it, get to the bottom of it, see what the fuck this kid was drawing, like what happened. Yeah. And it has illustrations of the drawings. I know that sounds so childish, like, oh, pictures, but I'm a visual person and I just feel like that's cool. I want to show y'all one without me like, okay, this is big enough. But see, it's pictures in here. And I just think that that was so cool, like to show us what the little boy was drawing. Look at that. So yes, this put me on a wild ass ride too, and also to the point where like, because I like to do a lot of my reading at night before I go to sleep. But there were some moments where I was reading this shit and I was like, "Ooh, baby, let me put this down. Let me put this down because it's dark outside, it's nighttime, and now I'm starting to hear, I'm starting to hear shit in my fucking house, and baby, nope." Nope, I don't need that negative energy on my spirit before I go to sleep. You want to go to sleep with not an anxious mind, not stuff on your mind, because then you have stuff on your mind before you go to sleep. Next thing you know, you having fucking nightmares. No. So, yes, I think that this was a good, like, just depiction of a thriller and even kind of like a little supernatural stuff too. Um, so yes, but also the crazy part about it is that I feel like it tugged at my heartstrings a little bit. I got emotional. I know you probably like, girl, what a thriller? Yes. Yes. Like there was a moment in here where I teared up. So I'm sorry. I keep hitting my table, so I hope it's not loud. But yeah, this good. It's good. Add it to your list if you a thriller girl like me. I think you're gonna enjoy it. So, and also these are the books that I'm showing y'all now are books that I have decided to put on like my display of books. So like I obviously have my books on my bookshelf, but then some of the books that I like really enjoyed that are like my favorites that really stuck with me, I have them on like a floating shelf. So these are all books that I've put up there, especially the Green Sisters, since that is like a series. I have them on their own shelf. However, I feel like I do plan to take them down because the floating shelves are getting a little heavy because I keep adding stuff on there. So maybe I'll get like a separate bookshelf to put like all of my faves on there. But yes, this stuck with me for a minute. It really did. So yeah, check it out. Okay. The next two books, I don't have physical copies of them. I'm gonna try to at least put like a picture somewhere on this video. Hopefully, fingers crossed. If I do, great. If not, I'm so sorry. You can look it up. But I read them on my Kindle. It's called The Perfect Sister 1 and 2 by Desiree. Whew. I sped through those books because I was so like, I was eating it up. I was eating it up. So The Perfect Sister is a story about a girl. Her name is Pandora. She is a part of this cult of women, who again, they're just pro women. Men are just like a big thumbs down, like just, and let me be specific, black women. So anything that does not have anything to do with a black woman, nope, not having it. They not fucking with it. Um, so one day, Pandora, one of her best friends, who is also a part of the compound that they're, in cult that they are a part of, goes missing. And there is a detective. This is based in Atlanta too. There's a detective. He's taking on the case. Well, not really taking on the case of the missing girl, but the detective has dealings with this cult. And you soon find that his story and Pandora's story, they intertwine and they connect. Um, it's a wild ride. Like I'm trying to keep it very, very vague, but it's a wild ride. But I enjoyed it a lot, and that's an urban fiction book. I forgot to mention that, And urban fiction is not really my thing. Like that's not my go-to genre, but baby, that story, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm fucking with it. I was fucking with it. Like I read that on my Kindle, so I was fucking with it. Um, so yes, great story. I really want the physical copies. They are quite expensive. I know like for a lot of the indie authors, especially if they're not like in major publication. I don't know if that's the right word or not, but their physical copies typically are more expensive than some of the more, I guess, like common authors. Because it was initially like that with Natasha Bishop. If you ever if you've ever read if you've ever read Only for the Week, like my book club, we read that a while back before it became like super duper popular. And I got the physical copy for that. And I think I had to pay like $30 for it. But in hindsight, I'm so glad that I did because no shade, but I hate the new cover art that they have for it. So I have the OG one. It's so pretty. At some point I am going to get both 1 and 2, but as of right now, they're just something that's on my Kindle. But I enjoyed the story so much. So the part 2 is kind of like a continuation of part 1, so I can't really say what the synopsis is of it. There are some new characters that join, but yes, still all the same kind of goal and mystery, but it's good. It's so good. So much to the point where I tagged Desiree in both of my posts on Instagram because I did like a reel for both of them for part 1 and part 2. Like, I'm pressed. I'm so pressed. Um, I'm not going to say too much why I'm pressed because I actually did do an in-depth review of both 1 and 2. Like, I did a short form, obviously, for Instagram, but I did like a more in-depth review that I wanted to post here on YouTube. I think I still might do it. Because why not? Might as well. I'm already here. I'm starting to post more, so I think I want to go ahead and post those, but they will have spoilers. So I'm just going to give you a heads up. If you do plan on watching them, make sure that you have already read the book if you intend to do so. So, yes, I'm going to do that at some point and upload those because I'm so invested. Like, I got so attached to the characters. So, yeah, honestly, I feel like all of the books that I read this year, I think that's one of the reasons why they're like my favorites. I got attached to the people in the book. Like they stuck with me for a while. Especially like with the Green Sisters. I'm so sad that their series and their story is over because I want more. And Christina Forrest, she actually released like a little like mini story. I think it was like a Christmas story, but it's not enough. Like I need more, I need more, I need more. So yeah, and I think with the Chestnut Man by Soren Siefstrup, he has another book coming out this year, and it does contain both of the two detectives that were in that one. So I'm excited to see again how they've grown and progressed as partners in the next book and what is given. Because I think that's not his first book, but as far as for like the main character, I think her name is Maya. You know how sometimes the authors will have like the detective and they'll have like book number 1 is book number 1 for her. So that's Perfect Sister 1 and 2. And last but certainly not least, my favorite book of 2025. Carrie Soto is back by my girl Taylor Jenkins Reid. Listen, if Taylor don't do nothing else, that bitch gonna write her motherfucking story. She gonna write a motherfucking story. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Like, I love this book so much. It took me through a roller coaster of emotions. Like, I cried a lot with this book. I just, Taylor be fucking writing, dog. That bitch be writing. And what's crazy is that I initially picked that book up. Mind you, one thing, again, not one thing, this is another thing you will learn about me. I'm a book hoarder, like a lot of book people. I buy books and I hoard them. I don't be reading them right away. So I've had that book for at least 4 years. I bought it when it first came out. I think it came out, what, 2021? I think. So yeah, I had it for a long ass time before I actually read it. And what prompted me to read that was because I had gotten Malibu Rising from the library. If you don't know, that is another book by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And Carrie Soto is mentioned in that book. And they kind of talk about her a little bit because she was dating one of the main characters. So I was like, ooh, bet this will be the perfect time to read Carrie Soto is Back, because then I can see, all right, what's the story behind this girl? You know? So after I read that, which Malibu Rising is probably like my least favorite Taylor Jenkins Reid book so far, was not a fan, but that's okay. Um, this book, this book made up for it, and I'm so glad I read this one second. It was so good. It was just so good. And essentially the book is about, she's a tennis, Carrie Soto, she is a tennis star who went into retirement, and she decides to come back out of retirement to see, like, bitch, am I still the GOAT? Am I still the biggest boss that you've seen thus far? Like, am I still that bitch? Do I still got it? So we go through the journey of watching her prep and prepare for these tennis matches, like the US Open, the Australian Open, all of the damn opens, bitch. Like, if you're, familiar with tennis, you probably know what the fuck I'm talking about. I am not. So I don't know all the right lingo and shit, but I didn't give a damn. I didn't give a damn. After I finished reading it, I had saw a lot of like reviews from people basically complaining that it was super tennis centric. And I'm like, bitch, are you stupid or are you fucking dumb? That's what the fucking book is about. And I love that. I love that a lot. Like, it showed parts in there. Like, say, for example, if you are into sports and you're watching a game and she even just kind of like gave you a visual and a depiction of what it's like watching this stuff in real time. So like, you have your sports analyst and you have your commentators and everything, like talking about the game, and just like you got your news reports and whatnot. So I thought that that was super cool. I loved it a lot. I'm also a girl that's into sports. I like stuff like that. So I enjoyed it a lot. There's also a lot of Spanish. And again, people complain about that, but it's like, listen, just use your context clues, read past it, or bitch, get your fucking translator out. It's not that fucking deep. I like to think of myself as a bilingual mommy, so I love me some fucking Spanish. Hell, it even taught me some shit in there that I didn't fucking know. So it didn't bother me none. So I say, if the sports theme and the Spanish is gonna bother you, bitch, don't read it. Simple as that. But if it doesn't bother you, tap in, because it was so good. Oh my gosh, like, I miss Carrie. I miss her a lot. I feel like I resonated with her a lot. And I think that that's why, like, I just got so attached to her and I really fell in love with her character, because I saw parts of myself in her. And that made me feel good. Because, like Harry, I'm just misunderstood. And that's my life. So, yeah, yeah, yeah. But those were all of my favorite books for 2025. I hope that you found some of these of interest. I know that I did not explain them as well as I probably could have, but listen, you can always Google it and you can look it up yourself um, to get a full synopsis of what the book is about. I know some people kind of like to go into things blind, so that's also another reason why I wanted to be as vague as possible. Some people like it, very detailed. So I tried to give it a little bit of a happy medium, especially because, again, I'm not good at summarizing stuff. I just hope that if you have not read any of these books, that you find one or some of them of interest and you can add them to your TBR this year. And hopefully you enjoy them as much as I do. That's all for now. So until the next time, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.